tractor, roughly about 3,000 pounds worth. But they were handy, and this one's got some hydraulic leaks, so we are going to mobile to Ogallala to get there and go and remove these cylinders. Then I'm going to take them home and do all the machining and cleaning and all that kind of good stuff to tear them apart, to track down the pieces for them, to get them rebuilt, so this little guy will be sealed back up and ready for work. Well, we're up here at the little machine. As you can tell, it's just sitting here. No load on it. And that cylinder is roughly just dripping, as you can tell by the pile of oil underneath of it. It is just dripping every so often, coming out the seals. It looks like the gland for the head is coming apart. Some scarring on the cylinder bore. And the basic lines doesn't look like it's going to be too old. They need to put some grease in there. The kingpins are really starting to come through. I shouldn't call them kingpins. The idler pin's starting to come through. What a shame. No cute machine. Well, as you can tell, they're a pretty stout built little guy. So I can understand why they want to keep it going. The only thing that's really bad about these, which I do have a couple tricks up my sleeve, is getting this pin out. The bolts for this pin are behind all this stuff. So you have to remove all this stuff up here. You can get to it and unbolt it. Then once you get to it and unbolt it, which I might try to, I've never tried it before, but we might try to just remove this guard to get in there. Yep, I think we're going to remove this guard, get in there so we can get to this pin. And then what I found works with pulling these pins out, it's really kind of crazy. It's just a big crescent wrench. Grab it, start walking it back and forth, and hopefully she comes out. If it's been greased, it will, but if not, they become really, really fun, which it's not too incredibly big. So worst case situation, we'll just get the liquid wrench out and cut them off there, which wouldn't be the first time I've had to do that. This side here though, like I said, this side you do not want to use a liquid wrench on, due to the fact that pin travels through that tank right there. You don't want to mess up that tank. This side, as you can tell, has been rebuilt. See that notch up there? Someone's been inside of it, notched it, pull the head off of it. It's just a little push pin that you pull out and it allows the thing to come out. That's what's worrying me slightly with these, as if this right in here gets worn out, it allows it to rock back and forth. There's nothing I can do except for, well, I guess I could weld it back closed and then machine the head out to the proper size again. But then all that costs, it's cheaper just to try to find another cylinder. Sorry about the side noise, but down the road, there's a couple of them right here too. I think those ain't leaking incredibly bad. We'll see what he wants to do. Yeah, his lines are more of an issue up there than the actual cylinder. But these ones are, yeah, we'll get these ones done, get them fixed. We don't want to hit him with the sticker price too much. It might shock him. But as you can tell, these are little almonds. Little handy little machines. They used to be made right here in Nebraska. And then they quit making them. And they're just great built little machines, little durable 3-cylinder diesel engines in them. They're relatively easy to work on. Pretty universal on a lot of stuff. Well, they used to be. Since they went out of business, it's been kind of a chore to find parts for them. So a lot of times you just gotta kind of use a little bit of ingenuity, find stuff that works, find stuff that doesn't. I've been familiar with this machine. About 5 years ago, I welded the hydraulic pump back together on it. It broke one of the ears off the pump. They didn't have the guard on it. One of the guys was standing on the pump. So Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with it, and we just welded it back together because Amann doesn't make a new pump for it. And the pump that we found for it was a used housing, which we could have pulled all of our guts out of and put back in there. But sometimes buying used things like that, you're buying someone else's problems. If the machining wasn't correct on it, it means that we'd had to have it sleeved and re-shimmed or re-sleeved to be the proper size, and that can be very costly. So we just welded it back together, and just like that, people, just like, you see? Okay, there's the pins. Now these ones up here, as you can tell. Now these pins up here are a little more difficult. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. There we guys go. Now these are a little more difficult, take a little bit more finesse, but I just like to take my super thumb, my mechanic's thumb, and I like to work them back and forth just like that. Oh, make sure I don't drop the cylinder on my phone. And we just pull it on out. There we go. This is the importance of putting grease on your machines, because when I have to come and pull it apart, and I don't have to beat it with a hammer, it makes a world of difference. See, if this, I believe they were built in Nebraska. Don't hold me to it. But they were built by farmers, for farmers, and built to last forever. Like I said, they're great little machines. Just you can't hardly get parts for them anymore. Okay, we got the cylinder apart, as you can tell. I'd like to put just a little bit more of a notch in there so you can carry the ring around. There's the ring, and you have to slide that in. You have to slide that out of the cylinder, and that ring sits right in this groove right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, right in that groove. But as you can tell by the way this cylinder looks, it is actually not all that bad, but we're not down into the packing yet. But it's not too bad. Got some little bit of scarring in there, but we're gonna clean that up real quick, clean it out, get it taken care of. We gotta spray the vise down, and then later I gotta go look at another thing. Well, some days you have great days where you tear everything apart, excuse my language, tear everything apart, and it all comes apart beautifully and is rebuildable. Then it's going so good that you thought, well, why not try another one? Oh yeah, just look at this. And then that one comes out. I don't know if you can see it, but that's why it's definitely leaking oil, which, yeah. The piston's bad. The head's bad. The only thing good on it's the rod. And now I'm stuck with it. And it is a discontinued machine, so I get to try to track this part down in the land of nowhere. Oh goodness. Good morning, YouTube. This is John, and today we are going to go out and look at a Power Stroke. I shouldn't say just Power Stroke. It's an Excursion 2002 with the Power Stroke 7.3 liter engine in it. And we think we might have a Huey failure. We're going to check to see if he's got pressure on the pump, and then check to see if he's got pressure on the rails of the injection, which you'll see what I'll do there is I'll kind of eliminate one side or the other side, see which side's leaking. And then from there you just So what you got in these seals is when they start to fail, is the seal itself actually breaks down internally. Especially I've noticed this on these forklifts. As you can see how this seal came apart, there's no elasticity, I think that's the word they use for it, in the seal. As you can see, it is just coming apart like this, flaking apart. And that is from a little bit of heat over years. Just kind of breaks the seal down and dissolves it. And as you can tell by this seal, it wasn't going to seal much of anything. It was pretty bad. Now on these seals, the dust seals, you always bend them, excuse me. You always bend them, taking them out, so no worries there. On the older ones here, you'll see where they have an O-ring and a backing plate. The new ones come with just a square shaped O-ring, looks kind of like an oil filter O-ring in the kit. And I got the parts from Caterpillar for this unit here. So there we go. Well, she is all new. As you can tell, I ping them. I do this to help ensure that the seal stays into place. But on that, now we can put it back in the truck. On that, we can put it in the back of the truck and go install it. We're still during daylight hours, so you know it's a good time to do this and get it done. Tomorrow, I have a doctor's appointment, which I just found out about, which I volunteered to help a friend do some work to his truck, but that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow afternoon. It is a 5.4 Triton, and I'm not too thrilled to go and try to fix a blown out plug on it. So we'll see how that comes. I saw this that's been bent, and that kind of threw some red flags at me earlier. But then I started looking over to here, and as you can tell, that is no way or any means a factory weld. And usually you see that right there. See if it'll scroll in. You see that right there? That looks like a crack. That's most likely a crack. So on that notion, and by the way it looks, they didn't knock any of the paint off or nothing. They just welded around it. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit and charge it with air and start pressurizing this system to make sure that it ain't leaking there. Because if so, and I go and reinstall that, it's leaking there, they're gonna call me back telling me my seal's leaking. And that right there does not look good. So I might have to, oh my goodness, it looks even worse down here. I might have to go ahead and fire the welder up and weld some ears on this. But we're gonna find out real quick like.